Here is an uncomfortable truth about direction. You cannot build a life you have never described, and almost nobody sits down and writes it out. One Skillshare class fixes that. 4 reflection exercises, 1 workbook, and 21 minutes of video. More than 56,000 students have sat down with it. This is designing the life you want. 4 exercises for clarity and motivation taught by Muchelle B, 7 lessons, 21 minutes, all levels, and a workbook you fill in as you go. Here is the plan, the workbook itself, the instructor, the 4 exercises taken one at a time, and what 56,000 students made of the whole thing. So the project, there is no showpiece to make here and nothing to upload. The deliverable is a filled-in workbook downloaded from the class page before you start, 4 exercises live inside it, your anti-vision, an 80-20 audit of your year, your values, and your perfect day. Her instruction for how to take the class is refreshingly literal. Put the video up on one side of the screen and put the workbook in front of you. Every single lesson walks you through exactly 1 page of it. And this is deliberately not a one-and-done class. She works through these same pages again roughly every 6 months, at the turn of a year, during a flat week, or any time the direction goes quiet. So Chapter 2, who is actually teaching this? Muchelle B, a content creator on YouTube whose entire beat is intentional living. Her own description of herself, and it is a good one, a goal-setting, habit-building, behavior change nerd. And that is the credential that actually matters here. Every exercise in this workbook is one she has completed herself, and one she goes back to on a 6-monthly basis. These are her own pages, not an assembled curriculum. Which explains the most useful thing about the class. She goes first, her anti-vision, her values, her patterns, her mistakes, all of it said out loud with the unflattering parts left in. Chapter 3, what is inside? Inside, it is 21 minutes spread across 7 lessons. 2 of those are housekeeping, an introduction, and the class project. The other 4 are the exercises themselves, and they carry almost the entire runtime. And the ordering is deliberate. The anti-vision comes first because it is the exercise that produces urgency, and urgency is what carries you through the other 3. Then the 80-20 audit, the biggest lesson here at 5.5 minutes. Then your values, and the perfect day is saved for last as a reward for all that honesty. 7 lessons, 4 of them exercises, and nearly the whole runtime spent on your own page rather than hers. Now, exercise 1, and it is the uncomfortable one. Exercise 1 is the anti-vision, her own coinage and her favorite page in the book. You write out the 5-year version of your life that you would hate to live. The prompt is blunt. How could I make sure that in 5 years' time I am extremely unhappy and unsuccessful in life? She warns that it can get genuinely emotional, depending on where you happen to be standing. And there is a common misread. She heads off immediately. The question is not what could happen to me, illness, redundancy, bad luck. The question is what could I do? Then you flip every line you wrote. Beside each thing you dread, you write the move that prevents it. Hers runs from going out of her way to meet other creators to wearing sunscreen. Small, unglamorous moves, every one of them well within reach. Exercise 2 borrows the 80-20 rule. 80% of effects come from 20% of causes. Everyone points that at productivity. She points it at your happiness. Pass 1 is the last 12 months. You open your calendar, your camera roll, your journal, your planner, and your feeds, and you sort everything you find into 2 columns. Positive on one side, negative on the other. Neutral things stay off the page entirely unless you want less of them. Then you read the patterns because the point was never the list. Repeats in the negative column become not to DOS. Repeats in the positive column become do more of these, and they go straight into the diary. As Tim Ferriss puts it, removing the negative alone just creates a void. Then you run the entire thing a second time, zoomed all the way in on your daily habits, your small behaviors, and your standing weekly commitments. Her own pattern was screen time. The more of it in a week, the less fulfilled that whole week ended up feeling for her. Exercise 3 is your values, and crucially, you do not pick them off a list. You reconstruct them. Write down the moments you felt most like yourself, most in flow, most at ease, then the moments you felt most stuck, most furious, most disappointed in yourself. Then go looking for whatever keeps repeating underneath both piles. Those repeats are your values. Helping people over and over, that is kindness. Fury at people getting away with things, that is justice. Then cut the list to about 5, and each survivor needs one tangible way to practice it. Call your parents once a week, stay out of the office gossip. And here is the warning that makes it work. Do not write down the values you wish you had. Those are aspirations, not values. Exercise 4 is the perfect day, and this one is not hers. It is a well-traveled exercise done by Lewis Howes, Oprah Winfrey, and Barbara Sher. You write an ordinary day about 3 years out. What kind of bed do you wake up in? Is the room flooded with light, or is it a cave with very good blackout curtains? Is anyone lying beside you? Then you keep going, the morning routine, the work and who it is for, the breaks and the walks in them, and the trap throughout is borrowed goals, the enormous house, the perfect dog, somebody else's numbers off a feed. So decide how you want to feel first and let the details arrive. If it is goats in a vampire novel, write the goats down. The specifics are allowed to be strange. Step back and the shape of the workbook appears. She says it herself in Lesson 6. The perfect day is almost the opposite of the anti-vision, and the two work beautifully together. One end pushes you, the other end pulls you, and you are standing in the middle. And in between those two sit the audits, where your time actually went last year and what you actually value. 4 exercises, 4 pages, and every one of them is a written document in your own handwriting that you can read back in 6 months and measure yourself against. And she is careful about what this actually does. You are not going to change your life this afternoon, she says. What it will do is reveal a great deal and then work on you quietly in the background, one small decision at a time. Now for the student's verdict. So does it deliver? 93% of students said the class met or exceeded their expectations. And exactly half of them said it flat out exceeded them, which is a strong number. And on the most liked board, the winner is Actionable Steps, with 845 votes. Clarity of instruction, helpful examples, and an engaging teacher sit right behind it. The top 4 separated by 68 votes in total. Audio and video quality and organized lessons bring up the rear. Actionable Steps topping that board is the interesting result. For a class built entirely out of journaling prompts with no tools and no apps, that is the most useful complement available. Which leaves one question. So who is it for? The quietly stuck, bored, in a slump, or just short on direction? That is her stated audience, nearly word for word. Goal setters caught between goals, and journalers who would rather have 4 tested prompts than a blank page. If you want a productivity system, skip it. Because underneath the anti-vision, the audit, the values, and the perfect day, all 4 exercises are asking one question. And it fits into 8 words. Name what you want, then aim at it. That is the entire class, and it is a genuinely unfashionable answer in a genre that would much rather sell you an app, a planner, and a subscription. Which brings us at long last to the final verdict. So the verdict, worth 21 minutes. Easily. You leave with 4 written pages that are entirely yours, a life you have deliberately ruled out, an honest audit of your own year, about 5 values with real practices attached, and 1 ordinary perfect day. It is included with a Skillshare membership, and there is a free trial, so the 21 minutes are the whole price. The link in the description gets you in free through Skillshare. Click it, download the workbook, and start with the anti-vision. The uncomfortable one is the one that moves you. Then diarize the perfect day for 6 months' time. See you in the next review.